Hi, I'm Mike Howard. I've been conducting a number of pitching clinics for senior softball players and decided that it would be worthwhile to share it with anybody who is interested in learning how to pitch slow pitch softball. I think that it's really important that we realize that just about anybody can do it. You may have noticed my shirt. That's a gift from our oldest granddaughter to help me celebrate my 85th birthday. Here I am still playing, having a great time, and actually trying to pass on some of that information to those who might benefit from the very first part, fundamental part of pitching, which is learning how to throw strikes. And that's what you're going to be seeing, is just that process. One of the reasons I'm here today is because of one of the attendees at my last clinic. Ron Lorenz has offered to videotape this for Creakerdom. First step will be the basics that I use. You can adapt accordingly, but we'll take it from there. First thing I do is try and show my grip. This doesn't necessarily have to be yours, but it works for me, and it's simple. I have small hand. I put 3 fingers on the cross seam of the softball and my thumb on the other cross seam. This gives me full control. I release the ball this way. This gives me the best control I can have, my little fingers on this side. The next step of the process is taking the stride towards the plate. That is legal. And that allows you, foot on the rubber, 1 foot, you're allowed 1 stride. That's a legal pitch. If you take 2 steps, if you step like this and then step like this, that's illegal. So you might as well learn the right way. A lot of times they don't call that, but you might as well, if you're going to start, you might as well start doing it the right way, which is a simple stride. For myself, I like to set up a rhythm, something I've got into. You may want to try it too, and that's simple. Place the ball in the glove, I take a stride back to set it, and then take my stride forward. That is a legal pitch because I'm only taking the 1 stride forward. You might want to give that a try. This is just an example of the way I stride towards the plate when I release the ball. And it's got the rock back and then the stride forward. This is it. Rock back, stride forward. If you're doing it the conventional way without the rock, you start here, just like this, and all you simply do is take a stride forward. If either one of those works, they're both legal. You should, when you're practicing, try both. See what works for you, whether this sets a rhythm, which it does for me, or whether you just want to take that stride. But just do not get in the habit of taking a step and then releasing, because at some point in time, somebody's going to call you on that. Next step is, let's see if I can throw a strike. First of all, I want you to go through the process. This is a pendulum motion. That's all there is to it. And you adjust, you release. If you're short, you lengthen your stride. If you're long, you shorten your stride. That's the easiest way to adjust. Simple, you don't have to think twice about it, you know exactly what to do. The release point, you will figure out. It'll vary, depending on whether you're going to throw high or low. Right now, all you're trying to do is throw that strike and use the pendulum. We'll see if I can do it. That was long. Therefore, since that was a bit long, I'm going to shorten my stride a little bit to see if that helps. So, I adjusted the length of my stride and found the groove, and that's what you need to do. And also, in the clinics, it became very clear to, I think, most of the participants that learning how to throw strikes is not easy. It's something you have to practice and practice and practice. And I can't emphasize that enough. I still practice quite a bit, even during the off season, but even during the season. So if you're going to make a commitment to learn how to pitch, then you need to be willing to practice. You can't just go out and do it. Next step is the parameters of the height of the pitch. The height minimum is 6 feet, the maximum is 12 feet, and you have to pitch within those parameters. Otherwise, it's called a no pitch or a ball. And so it's important that we understand that. And we're going to go look at a measuring thing that I have set up to give us an idea of where that is. The reason I have this pole is to illustrate the low 6 feet and the high 12 feet. That's the area where you have to pitch. I have placed this pole, I use AI to figure out the number. It's about 24 feet from home plate is when you release it from the pitcher's mound. That's the height of 12 feet at this point. Then it starts coming back down again. So you need to reach each of these points somewhere during the course of your pitch, or the umpire may disallow the pitch. Okay, I'm going to give this a try. I haven't had a chance to really warm up much, but I like to pitch high, so I'm always shooting for the 12-foot marker. I rarely get a 12-foot call. Usually they call my pitches high at 10 or 11 feet, but I do like to pitch high, and there's a reason for that. When you pitch at 6 feet, the ball is traveling like this, easier to hit. When you're pitching at 12 feet, the ball is traveling like this, which is a bit harder to hit. The good hitters are going to hit it no matter what. You just hope you can get them to hit it to one of your good defensive players to get the out. That's the main thing. As a pitcher, you're as good as your defense is, because they're going to hit the ball. You just try and get them to hit the pitch they don't want to hit. But we'll give it a try, see if I can get up to 12 feet. All right. I'm having trouble pitching a little bit long from the rubber because I normally pitch, our league allows you to pitch anywhere between the rubber and 6 feet back. I like to pitch 6 feet back. It's tougher to hit the plate, and it takes longer for the batter to wait on the ball, so I figured that might be an advantage. So I've started a couple of years ago pitching from 6 feet back. Let's see if I have a little more luck. Yeah. A little better. But that's the process we all have to go through. You see, I can't hit the plate all the time either. But once you get your rhythm, you can see how consistent I became once I got the feel for it. And that's what all pitchers have to do, is develop that. And it's a simple motion. Remember, it's a pendulum. Just a pendulum, not off to the side or whatever. As you improve your technique, then you can decide if your hands are bigger, you might want to try and spin the ball or do different things with it. A little harder to control, but as you practice and get better and more confident, then you can introduce that into your repertoire of pitches if you choose to, just as a change-up or something different that you want to try and confuse the batter on. Every little bit helps if you can manage throwing the strike. Now we get to go to my pet peeve, which is the high pitch call, 12 feet. I've had many umpires say all they do is take the 6-foot mark on the screen and double it to get their 12 feet. And this is what they look at to get their line of sight, tree line or fence line or light line, whatever, to help them make the call. I want you to see what happens when I actually move the 12-foot pole to where the ball actually reached its peak, and watch the difference in the height measurement that you would assume as an umpire. You get this angle, and then as I walk forward, gets higher, higher, higher. When you get to this point, that height is much higher from the perspective of an umpire looking at the ball, much higher now than looking back there. So I'm hopeful umpires will adjust accordingly. That's what happens as I walk forward to the perspective of where the 12-foot mark is.
Oh, yeah. That was
So the umpire needs to adjust their line of sight to where the 12-foot mark is now, not where it is back at the pitcher's mound. If you raise just double the height of the pitching screen, then you have to adjust inward to get the true height of 12 feet. Okay, I just want to go through what my practice routine is now. Yes, after 8 or 9 years of pitching, I still practice on a regular basis before games and during the winter when we're not playing ball. But here's my routine. It's pretty simple. It takes a half hour or less. First of all, I have a basket, usually about 15 balls here. And so I start from pitching from my normal spot, which is 6 feet back from the rubber, and take some pitches from here. And I go through a whole bucket doing exactly that. And then what in the process, I'll work towards pitching to areas on the plate, inside, outside, deep, short, to see if I can get anywhere close to where I want to go with certain pitches. So in this case, I'm going to try and hit the far back side on the left side of the plate. Just missed. A little bit more. There it is. After I finish the first basket, I will gather the balls, and then I move up to the short mound. I hate to walk people. And so if I go 3-0 to a batter from pitching back at my 6-foot spot, I move up to the shorter mound and just try and focus on just throwing a strike. I know they're going to hit it, but I want them to not walk. That concludes our session. I hope you picked up some pointers today, even a little bit to help you out. And just remember, if you're truly interested, all you need is a towel to set down for your plate. Measure 50 feet back. That's where the pitching rubber is. And you can do this in your backyard. But you have to be willing to practice if you're going to become a good pitcher. And again, learn to throw those strikes. Good luck.